Cool, let's begin. Yeah. So maybe you can walk me through like how did you guys begin this brand? Because recently, right, when Aden, who's unfortunately not here with us, not here with us as in not he fucking died.
Never die.
He got
Go Vietnam for work.
yeah. He's busy. Okay, so I
yeah.
just saw him yesterday at my brand new residency, Leonard Plus One, which we'll tell you all later. But
Yeah.
he reposted the Revelry on air at East Coast Park barbecue DJing thing, right? And then he writes some very deep, like he go through a lot of thinking that kind. Yeah. So did that was that like the antithesis of how you guys started this?
Yeah, sort of. I don't know how much you read about his story, that he posted, but I think it was basically how Beans and Beats was conceived lah. So I mean, because all three of us come from different backgrounds in terms of both our hobbies and what we were doing at the time. But the one thing that connected us was that we were all from the same school. So me and Matteo were classmates for 4 years, and then Aden and Matteo was in the same CCA all the way, and then classmates for their last 2 years in school as well.
Wow, what CCA?
Badminton.
Oh God, just recently pick up badminton, Walao.
Yeah. Then, I mean, I've been in coffee since I was 14 when I took a course. And I really wanted to pursue it. I got more into it towards the end of my school days. Then I wanted to do something. Then I was like, wow, actually I really want to open a cafe, just as a pipe dream,
Right.
But obviously in Singapore, rental and all that, yeah. And then Matteo was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, so why don't we see?
My exact words were, you are damn stupid, you have no money.
Yeah, but how?
And that's why you're the business guy, man.
Yeah, so how are we going to achieve that, right? And then I think it was like Aden then came in because we were like, Aden, Matteo told me that, Aden actually really wants to DJ, but because he doesn't really participate in nightlife or believes in that, then how are we gonna, do something together that will allow both of us to sort of achieve that goal, that dream? And that's sort of how Beans and Beats were conceived.
So you're the bean, Aden's the beats.
He's the N. He's the N. Yeah.
Ampersand.
He's the ampersand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like that lah. Then, I mean, obviously for me, because I work in specialty coffee, right?
Yeah.
Which is like the kind of crazy flavors, like the strawberry coffee that you try. That kind of level of coffee.
Yeah,
I really wanted to show people this is what coffee can taste like. And then
that is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, then for Aden, I think he also really wanted to spotlight the kind of music that people in Europe, in other countries, even in Asia are loving. But somehow in Singapore we have not reached yet. So what we coin more alternative genres of music, but obviously to people overseas they may seem amapiano is a normal thing, or house even, it's a normal thing. But in Singapore, if you are not really into those kind of music, it may be hard to find. That's also something that we wanted to spotlight and platform lah.
I know I'm old, right? When I was getting an opening DJ for Revelry 2nd anniversary last year, right? And then one of the girls that I got, one of the DJs that I managed to find, which is this girl called LTYX.
LTY.
Li Ting or Lasan or something, right? Yeah. She was previously 5 to 10 p.m. and then now doing her own things. And then she was like, I play amapiano. I'm like, what the frick is that, yeah? That was the moment I know I'm fucking old already. But yeah, and then Beatport also officially just added amapiano into the genre list not too long ago. And then I realized it's a bit like Afro house meets hip hop kind of shit, right?
Yeah, I mean it's Afro beats between.
But then it's also another thing called Afro beats, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Oh, don't ask me.
I think don't ask me because.
Must ask the beats,
Must ask the beats. Yes, this music document.
What
he created this I don't know how many page SOP document of how he wants the night to be.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The music direction and the sort of breaking down different genres as well. So for our DJs, they know in terms of energy level, what each genre would correspond to. And within each bigger block of genre, what are some of the sub-genres. So I think that is also very useful because we also want to spotlight new DJs. I think that's definitely very helpful to them because it was also very helpful to me trying to learn and more about what he was thinking, his headspace. So then that also inspired me to do something similar for coffee in terms of how we source.
Right.
But obviously for coffee it's slightly different because currently there's only 3 people involved in that sourcing and roasting process. Whereas the DJs keep rotating. So it's very, very important for them to sort of have that reference.
Yeah, and kind of why we had the SOP document was because it was also very difficult for us to figure out the music direction at the start because
This episode of Revelry podcast is brought to you by Revit, my preferred choice of anti-hangover gummies. These honey lemon flavored gummies are made with all natural ingredients to promote liver health and aids in the dissipation of Asian flush. Take 2 gummies before drinking and another 2 after for maximum effect so as to not be bogged down by hangovers the next day. So click the link in the description and use promo code RevelryFem to enjoy a limited time 15% off Revit gummies purchases. And now, back to the show.
Like at a club, it's like you not the most experienced, but usually how it works is that like your 10 opens at 10, right? 10 until like probably like 12 is like opening. Then 12 you start picking it up. Then 1 until like 3 maybe. If your club closes at 1 and 3 is like your hard hitting stuff. Then after 3 to 4 is like you slow down.
That's what I did yesterday. 1 to 3 more intense, yeah.
So but then it's very difficult for sober partying because people don't get drunk.
Yes.
Right. So the music that we have to play we have to like curate a lot more because we have to make sure that people really, really enjoy it. And we actually had a lot of difficulties at the start. So like last time we realized we went too hard and then too early. Like by the second hour we were already bumping like 130, 140 BPM.
Yeah.
Then by the 4th hour, right, everyone was kind of tired. There was no alcohol. Right.
Also, at the same time, I think what people also have a misconception is like when you first hear of Beans and Beats, it's like with coffee, how do you party, right? But I think what people don't really realize is, in fact, actually alcohol is like a depressant in a way. Like it makes you down, you know? Whereas actually caffeine in coffee makes you up. So in fact, naturally, by drinking coffee, you have higher energy level. It's just about how the energy level is distributed and, you know, channeled towards like dancing and partying and making people used to partying on that sort of high, which we want to promote as sort of a healthier alternative. I mean, of course, all of us do drink as well, but I think at the same time, because we love coffee, want to sort of combine that too, like the music that we love with the coffee and drink that we love.
It's all about moderation, right? I went to my first Beans and Beats party, which is like, according to you all, not technically a Beans and Beats party, it's more like a Tosca collab or something like that, right? Right. And then I was like, there, I saw him, and then he's like fucking busy and shit. And then I'm like, okay, let me just order something lah. And then the coffee is damn good, right? So I thought, based on like traditional clubbing, you drink the coffee very much like I thought very much like you drink coffee like how you drink alcohol like that. So I'm like busy like dying and shit, you know. And then by the time you all like got a time to take a break, right? And then you all came and chat with Baksha and Harvey, right? Wow, we all like fucking high and shit. We're like, oh my god. And then I'm like, I'm so not used to it, man. But I also don't understand, right, how like alcohol, right, it is a depressant, right? But then at the same time, you can make people like go crazy. How does that even work, yeah?
Well, I think it's also because they feel loose and relaxed. So it's like, because I think naturally, I think from what I can tell, and also like from, I mean, obviously drinking, I think you just feel more relaxed, more chill. I think that makes people less inhibited, right?
And Singapore is very like...
everyone feels like, cooped up, and I think the alcohol helps to release that, and also that's a contributor. But then what we're also trying to say is, you can get to that high another way lah.
But even then, like some people at our events, they don't drink the coffee because they cannot take caffeine. It makes them jittery, or like they just prefer and they just come in, they just enjoy the music and stuff. So kind of like the thing that we're trying to promote is that we're trying to promote that you don't have to be sober to have fun.
You don't have to be sober to...
Sorry.
That's what most people...
Sorry. You can have fun sober.
Hey! Wrong date.
Nice to meet you all.
So what we're trying to promote is that you can have fun sober. And I think because last time, like, there was a preconception within like my friends, people around us, that you had to get drunk to have fun. And there are other ways lah.
So a little backstory, right? I was telling them yesterday, right? I only started drinking when I was 25, damn late.
Really?
Because I truly am in love with that culture of the club culture. I really like that whole smoke, music, promiscuity. I really like that the dark side of like, it kind of like low-key feels very sensual. And then I'm like, oh my god, this is really like where I want to be at lah. And then it's like, superficial at times also. I don't know how to describe it, but there's like so much like... This episode of Revelry Podcast is brought to you by Ripple Hydration, the perfect isotonic recovery drink for active individuals or after a late night out partying and drinking. Unlike many of its competitors, Ripple Hydration is a sugar-free beverage, a healthier option. This in turn prevents an energy spike and crash situation. It comes in a variety of flavors, and my personal favorite is the lemon lime. Each one of the sachets can be mixed with up to 750 ml of water. And again, comparing with similar beverage brands in the market, it is the most value for money. So click the link in the description and get a limited time 15% off all Ripple Hydration beverage purchases. And now, back to the show. Beauty in all of that lah. So I was like so engrossed right in the whole entire thing, right?
For sure.
I never even talked to a single girl. I never even drink alcohol. I'm literally at the side observing all the way until I was 25. Then I actually started drinking, started dating. So I'm like super into that whole entire club culture thing.
Yeah.
And then back then, before 25, right, I was like, why do you all even need drinks? Yeah? Like, drinking is like kind of like censor your senses. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, you could have been taking in all these kind of things. But as I get older, right, I realize that drinking and being social, right, unlocks a whole new another dimension.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then for you guys, is coffee is also another dimension. Yeah. So that's how I see it. Clubbing has to continuously evolve. If not, right, if it's still like 30, 40 years ago, right, it's so one-dimensional, so boring.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, right now, actually, you see this surge in people partying or just having fun with like with DJs and like even alcohol or other forms of like coffee, tea, matcha, etc.
Yeah.
Other venues, right?
Yeah.
You look at all the set videos now; they are like popular. A lot of them are in the middle of like some random place at the beach. I recently saw this sunset beach mix in like California, for example.
Yeah.
Like I think people are trying to explore alternate ways to push that culture that they love, but also sort of push it to evolve, right? I think that kind of music that you enjoy, be it house, techno, big room, whatever, can be enjoyed beyond like what you deem traditionally to be like a club setting.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we find really interesting, what we want to explore and push.
Yeah, so something I was really interested in, and kind of like my end part of Beans and Beats, was that I really love holding events at really, really unorthodox venues. So like rooftops. I think we're holding one at a what's the next one?
Like an ice cream place.
An ice cream. Actually.
Ice cream museum.
Yeah, actually I haven't confirmed yet.
Yeah, I mean there's a few cool spots that we're
trying to explore, but then it was very difficult in Singapore. So because
Sound system.
some context was that I used I used to host like nightlife events, and then
traditional clubbing
events. So I had sofa and everything. So it was really difficult for me to host at very weird venues because the licensing, Singapore's zoning laws is really difficult.
Strict,
very, very strict. So certain places you cannot like the licenses. There are certain licenses where you can play music, but you cannot dance.
Oh yeah.
Like dancing is the
Dancing it was
it's a separate license. I forgot what it's called but it's like entertainment and something license. Then you can dance, and without that you cannot dance.
And then certain areas, right, you can never get a license past a certain time.
Which is why busking is way easier than DJing, right?
No actually that's what I thought, right? Busking. I mean obviously the first step is knowing that you need a license, but then even getting a license, you need to apply and all that.
Yeah.
So I think, but also there's good and bad to it. Obviously you don't want people who, like busking like illegally without permit because you don't know what else they'll be doing. So I think it's good to have some check and balance measure.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, with all these licenses, there were difficulties in trying to like achieve what we wanted to do.
And so like every time I tried to get a weird venue or a venue that wasn't at CBD, the license would get automatically rejected. Because just based on the zoning law, like that area is meant for residential, that area is meant for whatever, commercial or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so kind of what like Beans and Beats allowed me to curate new spaces, new experiences where we could bring people together, enjoy music and music and coffee just became the social lubricant.
Beans and Beats feels like three different companies. Yeah, one is source for coffee and get guest barista. One is source for DJ and guest DJ. one is sourced for venue and marketing. Wow, it's like the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like 3 of us plus like one new addition who unfortunately couldn't be here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's still a small team. But I think that also makes it more rewarding. I think like being involved in the process ourselves actually makes it feel a lot more rewarding. And I think we all learn a lot more by you know doing it hands-on. Yeah.
Something that I realized also about like companies, right, is that in day one, right, if the boss is like okay, I just hire a bunch of people and settle, right?
Yeah.
Then the attachment is not really there, right? And then you will not like kind of fight through those kind of hurdles, right? That everybody's deemed impossible, you know?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's also because you have buy-in. So for all of us, right, like we are all equal partners.
Yes.
And then we have this like, and it's really good that there's it's either 3 of us because it was like always a 2v1. So there was always a deciding vote. Like there would never come a point where there would
yeah,
be a 2-2.
yeah.
It would be a 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
2-2 makes it really like.
But what happens is 1-1-1.
But it's either yes or no.
Oh,
yeah, most of the time we
okay,
try
okay,
to
okay,
keep
okay.
the decisions to yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's also really good that it started as a passion thing at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when like damn shag, like you have to carry like speaker like through up like 4 flights of stairs. I mean, you'd still find it worth it, like, yeah.
For sure.
When you talk about decision, right, it kind of like remind me of this like Jeff Bezos YouTube shorts that I saw lah. He said that basically the most difficult thing in a company, right, is making a decision, and that's the reason why, right, he has to have like, you know, he need to like work out, he need to sleep properly so that he have a clear mind to make a decision. But then you see in the comment section below, right, all the employees be like, "Aiya, fuck lah, you just make decision only while we all working our ass off." But then as I finally start my own company, right, I realized why employees will never understand what an employer is going through. Because from the employee point of view, they're like working their ass off, right? But the employee actually gets to knock off work. But the employer don't really get to knock off work.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
And then your one decision can affect like so many people's life, right? Wow, you're so stressed. And oftentimes, right, when I'm doing this revelry thing, right, which is like my first actual business thing. I started multiple collectives, but this is really the one that actually make it this far. And I often time come, right, to a point where I am like, I don't really know the decision I'm making is correct or wrong. Have you all faced that?
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, okay, now I need to do this, but fuck, I don't know whether it's correct or not. And like, okay, Ethan also don't know, Aden also don't know, I also don't know, you know. Have you all?
I think it's really good that decisions where you don't know.
Honestly, I think because this is so new, we have never really made any decisions with 100% clarity.
Yes.
But also, like, that's part of the thrill. I mean, like, of starting something new and, like, being, like, the ones to really spearhead it and make those decisions.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, regardless, everything is a decision, right? From what venue to use, to what coffee to serve, to what music to play, what DJs to have. I think every one of those decisions always come with a little bit of uncertainty. And I think even now, after like we've reached almost that year mark in May, it's still like, oh, is this a safe bet, or what is the outcome of this decision we're gonna make? And there are still times where, and most of the times where we're like, we are not too sure. But it's whether about, you know, whether we believe in, you know, the thought process behind making those decisions.
Yeah.
And like, why are we making those decisions?
Yeah.
But I think it's also like as how I think about it, like when I'm making decisions in the company, is that I have a vision in mind of what I want the company to be. And so what you do is that you work backwards from it. Then you come up with steps, actionable steps. So let's just say right now we wanted
Actionable steps.
Yeah,
That's
actionable
major
steps.
key, bro.
Yeah, then like right now we're trying to build like produce content, right? A lot more content for other people. So we're trying to produce like how to DJ content, how to brew coffee. So all these things are still in the works. So we set that as a goal, like a couple months ago. So what we're doing is that then we work backwards. So then we have to, that would mean that we have to start finding people to help us produce the content, like write the content out, film the content, edit the content. And then we will have to find a way to pay for it. Then we will have to find a way to execute it. Then after that, we have to come up with a review cycle. So that's like you say when we start selling to brands or whatever, like for sponsorships and everything, right?
Yeah.
That's the amount of money, because your revenue is derived from the number of followers you have, the metrics that you get, and the kind of like the brand or like the importance of your brand or like how strong your brand is.
Right.
So you have to look at what that tipping point is, where the revenue that you get is greater than the cost. That comes with it, lah. Yeah.
But pivoting off the money point, I think it's also important to know that even with things like that, where we have like processes or why you want to do certain things, we still don't know whether it's going to work. I mean, if like for example, even with Revelry, that when you're producing different content, you also don't know which one will go viral, which one will be popular. And for us, we also don't know, are people interested in learning how to DJ? I mean, yes, definitely, but is that going to translate? Are they going to want to learn from us over someone else? Right? And there's always all these unknowns lah. So I think the most important thing is to have trust and faith in what you're doing and have that passion. And I think you just have to have that belief that will translate over to your end product and how people will perceive what you're trying to
like
create.
For example, and I think that's a very good point, because that was something that I learned from a friend who's like guy called Dion. He's from Tell Your Children. Yeah. He told us because we told him that we might want to try to vlog and try to like document the journey, because now the big thing in like marketing is like founder-led marketing. Right? And then we tried to do it, and then it didn't really feel natural to us. And then we told him but this is what the trend is, so shouldn't we be doing this? And a really good advice that he gave us was like, if it doesn't feel natural to you, don't do it. Because
it must look natural,
Because it must look natural. Yeah. You must want to do it. You must have the passion behind it. It must feel right. So even though like that is kind of like what the meta is, if it doesn't feel right for you, then you should still do it. Yeah.
But to be fair, vlogging is a very unnatural thing lah. The element is very unnatural.
Yeah, but certain people are very natural with it.
No, it's actually I tell you. So I did like 30 over vlogs during COVID, right? And then it became natural to me.
Really?
And then I know that to enter a room, right? How do I enter a room? I enter a room, put the camera first, go out, then come back in. That's the way so it's so automatic already. So after I shoot 30, 40 vlogs at no views one, right? Then now it's like when I do my own vlog, it's so autopilot. I know exactly what to do. Yeah. So sometimes you can like harness it.
You can harness it,
Yeah, because if it's really something very important that you have to do, right? Like no choice,
you have to learn how to do it.
Make it part of you,
For sure.
But when you started, did it feel very awkward for you at the start?
It helps that I'm quite shameless as a person. I'm the motherfucker on the elevator, and I just record myself, and like 20 people.
So you don't
behind.
care lah. People are staring.
I don't care one. Yeah. So it helps that thing lah. But then the thing is like the processes of like, okay, so how do I talk to the camera, and then certain stuff that I learned from Casey Neistat, who kind of popularized the whole entire vlogging.
Daily vlogs for how long, right? Yeah.
So one of the most important takeaway I have, right, is that don't move the camera, because the camera, right, doesn't operate like a human eye, because human eye is very wide angle. So when you move, right, it doesn't feel very weird. But if you look at a camera that's moving, right, wow, you're very dizzy, right? Yeah. So you don't move the camera. Let the human create the action, the movement. Yeah. So if you realize Casey Neistat vlog, everything is static one.
Yeah, it's always like he put the camera, he bikes there, or he takes his what's it called, electric skateboard.
Skateboard,
the electric skateboard.
Yeah, everyone New York has that.
The booster board, right? They call it.
Yeah.
I was about to get to a point where I forget. Just now we were talking a bit about money. Then after that we were pivoting to uncertainty, right?
Decision making.
Yeah. Fuck, I already forget already. But talking about money, right? Are we able to talk a little bit about like influencer marketing model, like creating content and then earning money, that kind of thing?
I mean, we're not very familiar with the numbers, obviously, because we are not exactly influencers. But I think maybe Matteo can share about like his other thing that he does.
Yeah.
That's not beans and beats.
Yeah.
Maybe more related to the marketing side.
Yeah. So, just a quick story. Aden and I, we did a nightlife company. Flow. Yeah, we held events around. He came for our first one. Very
To support lah. Yeah.
You're the promoter.
No, I make coffee only. Come and support my friends.
Yeah. Bring your army of 300 people.
But Aden left a bit earlier because he didn't really enjoy nightlife. And I think that was because he felt that it was, I don't want to speak on his behalf, but like, yeah, he didn't feel like it was the right thing for, like, he just didn't feel very comfortable doing it.
Yeah. During the barbecue, he was like, telling me something about it. But then like Beans and Beats kind of like best of both worlds.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
like hype, you know?
Yeah. And so, we did nightlife. After a while, we both fell out of love with it. And then we pivoted into doing marketing for brands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third Spaces marketing.
Yeah, Third Spaces marketing.
Yeah, I stalk you.
Check us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have an Instagram.
LinkedIn,
presence
bro.
yet. And then LinkedIn is, Aden has been pushing the LinkedIn quite hard.
Yeah.
We don't have an Instagram, should be up in the next coming weeks. But that was when we learned how to use social media to kind of make people like change behavior or like influence behavior. Yeah, I think that's a better word. Where you would influence behavior, like let's just say you're promoting like this restaurant, then you would feature like your USPs. Then like because of that, people, if you create the content in the right way, you structure it in the right way, you make sure that the content leads to another, you create a certain logic flow, then you can influence certain behavior. Yeah, and that's why we pivoted away from. It's not really pivoted. We were doing that. Then Ethan's thing came up. Then we decided to do it concurrently.
Okay.
And so right now we're
But Beans&Beats is separate from.
Yeah, but it's still separate. Yeah.
Separate
Two
from
different companies.
Two different companies. And they operate, completely differently. So they have their own TSM team and people that they run
have their
with.
own
They're
Beans&Beats.
separate. And then we have, and Beans&Beats remains organic. Like our Beans&Beats staff and team is not like the TSM team.
What's TSM?
Third Spaces
Spaces
Marketing.
Marketing.
Oh, okay.
It's just Third Spaces marketing is a long.
Right.
Abbreviate it.
To TSM and B&B.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the social media thing. Like you say, you all learn how to do social media thing, right? You know,
But Aden is the one who does all the product side.
right? To like people like me and older, right? We are like in our minds is like, hey, Gen Z, they born out with iPhone, one, you know, they just automatically know all this.
But then Sony Ericsson kid no such thing
But then yesterday, right, I was just at the end of work, right, I was just shooting some TikToks with some Gen Z kids, right? Then my girlfriend is like, okay, let's shoot some TikToks. Then they're like, hey, we don't want to do dance, all this. Then it feels like very backwards, you know, the perspective on what TikTok is, what social media is, right? It's like you dance, then you get views. But now it has really evolved so many times already, and I'm quite surprised that there are still younger generations that is like not in this space. I thought it was like everywhere already.
Oh, like what do you mean?
what do you
in
mean
this
by-
space?
what do you
Like
mean?
marketing, like social media trends, all that kind of thing.
You thought everyone is caught up, is it?
Yeah, that's what I thought, you know, because TikTok is such a phenomenon, you know, like everybody knows TikTok, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are still pockets of people that are like completely in the unknown. Maybe the STEM few people, right? They don't need to use social media. Right? All they need to do is like provide results done, you know? Yeah.
my personal viewpoint on the whole social media thing is that I think no matter what platform it is, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook for the older generations, it's like ultimately all of these are just platforms for expression. Like that's how I see it, right? And then like whether you choose to be a consumer, a producer, or both, like I think it's so diverse and there's so many spaces and niche pockets of content for people that like I'm sure the STEM people are using TikTok, you know. Just maybe they are on like maybe they're just like on a certain part of TikTok, like that kind of content that you are not on. Yeah.
Talking about STEM TikTok, right? There is this like controversy last time a bit because Douyin is TikTok, original TikTok, right, from China, and then they created the English version called TikTok, right?
No, it was Musically.
Musically then become
they bought
Douyin.
over. No, I think Douyin. But if I'm not wrong,
I'm not
it was
familiar. I don't
Douyin that opened in China.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe no. Musically got bought over by ByteDance.
Okay.
Then Musically, they rebranded into TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know which came first. Was it Douyin in China
Yeah.
came first? But they are
But they are like
But they're
synonymous.
separate
lah.
they're
apps.
synonymous.
But they're separate apps.
Yeah,
Like,
correct.
I don't know if you follow
And I think
the
legally
stuff,
might be owned by different people because
Yeah, but like TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Their servers and all that are in Singapore. And they
Ah,
are Singapore HQ.
Right.
And they are not related or like with the Chinese version. That's why you know that interview went viral.
Yeah, I'm not from
Yeah,
China,
yeah,
I'm from
yeah.
Singapore. I'm from Singapore.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Douyin is essentially like TikTok, but only in China.
Sure.
Then TikTok is like the one that is like existing in US lah. And then it is said that you know, I watch a lot of podcasts, and then it says that the China version, right, they actually have a feed for STEM fields.
Oh,
Yeah.
TikTok in Singapore has a feed
But
for STEM
now,
field yeah.
but for many years already, you know. So what was said, right, is like, okay, Douyin is trying to like, you know, grow the countries, like level up the whole country lah.
Yeah.
Whereas TikTok is created, right, just to like waste people's time lah, in a sense. And then I guess TikTok kind of like combated that by adding their own STEM field feed now, right? Yeah.
I think it's just at the end of the day what kind of content you choose to or want to consume and what you're interested in.
Yeah. But then the thing is the barrier of entry is very important. Like for example, if you're FYP, instead of put FYP, right, you put a STEM field as the FYP, right? It is like easier. You get what I mean?
I think it's just it's easier to make a conscious decision to press STEM, right? Then you can just look at STEM content compared to like in the past where you had to search like how to do factorization on the search. Like, because you don't even know what to start.
But sometimes I just get STEM content like on my feed.
Random.
Like, I show you there's this funny thing going on now where like they put like AI voices of like people explaining.
Oh, it's there for you.
So I have
friends doing that.
So I always get LeBron James explaining math to me.
It's LeBron. No, then I have a friend who's doing a chemistry tuition thing.
Yeah.
And then he gets like hundreds of thousands of views from like just putting LeBron James or Cheminem. And then it's just deepfakes of them explaining like chemistry.
Wait, he created content using...
Because you can use, there are a lot of tools out there. Yeah. Actually leveraging AI actually makes it a lot easier to
entry is actually quite low. I mean like I'm not even watching math stuff. I'm just watching basketball stuff, but then I'm getting math.
Yeah.
And also because of the concept of how TikTok works. Like TikTok works, it's like, let's just say someone tells like to make viral content, no one really knows like what the secret sauce is. Like no one knows, like there are certain studies of it, like there's certain storytelling structures, there's certain which are like things that you learn from film, that you learn from other disciplines that you employ into TikTok. But in TikTok, how you kind of like go viral is that you create, it's a very big trial and error process.
Yeah.
You have like, let's just say you have 10 videos, probably maybe 1 or 2 will go viral. And then you take that data and you reiterate. Yeah, and so actually AI helps to leverage that and actually helps to, like, you can create that video a lot faster and a lot quicker. So the reiteration process and the feedback.
So you can post, get feedback faster.
Yeah,
learn.
get feedback faster. Yeah. And there are a lot of tools now online, right, where they create the content, they post it for you, they let it run on an algorithm, then they get certain data feedback, right? Then they use that data to further reinforce and further to train the AI model. So that's why there's this theory out there called the fake internet theory, where like people postulate that like in a couple of years, right, like your feed is just going to be full of fake like deepfakes or just AI content.
Yeah. Then like that how? But you can't really tell, right, from the difference between Yeah. So
It happened.
I mean, I don't know where I saw this. It's like I think there are certain companies that are creating like apps that can create TikTok content.
Yeah.
So you don't even need a person, don't need a content creator left already. Yeah.
But I think content creators still give you that amount of authenticity.
Yeah.
And it's very different. I think right now at this point, like you can still tell.
Yeah. But when you cannot tell, it's like,
And
oh
not
my
just
God.
that, I think the good thing is also, I think I always see on TikTok, this content is labeled as AI generated.
AI generated. They do feature that inside. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think,
and so it helps to differentiate.
And it helps with transparency, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think, the whole conversation of AI, I think one of the key things that people talk about is transparency. Like, I know at the day, it's about knowing like whether AI was used to produce content. Doesn't diminish the value and the quality of it, but it's just like, whether it is or it isn't. But also, I think going back to B&B, I think one of the reasons I think why I felt like we were able to sort of resonate and build a community is because a lot of our content was just us like being ourselves, being human and just doing what we love to do. I still remember like the first few clips we ever posted of just our first ever like, not even like an event, just like us and friends are on top of like some
it was
attic location.
Like those.
Just like
skits.
No, it was.
And just DJing.
It wasn't a skit. It was like.
No, it was just it's like a mini B&B event. But it's not even an event. We just invite friends, come down, we chill. Then we just film it.
It was this attic at where? Clarke Quay, right? No, Clarke Quay. What's that called?
I don't remember.
Robertson Quay.
Boat Quay. Yeah,
Oh,
Boat
right.
Quay. There's this small attic that you could rent on like those like venue renting websites. I forgot how much it was. Then we just rented it. I brought down like my dad's you know those JBL, the 310, the ones you use for karaoke.
Okay.
I brought it down, lugged it.
With Aden's Flex 4, right?
Yeah, I know we were Flex 4.
Then I
Put
just
a
brought
camera,
my own coffee
put
equipment.
Instagram live, yeah.
Yeah.
And we just put
Yeah.
short content.
Brew coffee,
Yeah, very-
make DJ, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember at the start we didn't start. It was just wanted to test the concept out. Yeah. See whether people really enjoy it.
Like many times, right, in this podcast, we often say that, oh, AI is still going to take over, and then you can't really tell the real and the fake, right? And then I'm like, great news, guys. Now live event will be more and more happening because people can't wait to see the real thing, right? Yeah, so it's like, yeah, all those people that is doing live event, right, it's going to huat lah. Yeah. So I think it will be very valuable if you can build a personal and authentic brand. And then when people see all the fake content, right, and then they finally see you, they can kind of get like a feel of like how, like, is this what you actually say?
Right.
And then they also check, is it posted by the official account? Yeah, which is why now the authenticity check mark is like so bloody important. You know the one that you can like subscribe to every month on Instagram to get the check mark, right? I think that one, it needs another levels, with AI, like passing the Turing test, right? I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it could like. I know they're starting to implement like KYC.
KYC?
That's like identification. So like you need to submit like your identification details.
Oh, for
it's just
the-
an authentication process to
Right,
make
right.
sure that whoever's behind that account is a real human being.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite easily solvable. Yeah.
So when it comes to beans and beats, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the difficulties when it comes to like organizing such an event? Like pulling people is always a problem, for clubs actually. Do you all face that kind of problems? Is it like simpler for you guys because everybody's so young, everybody's got the energy to do it?
Yes and no. I think pulling people down has never been like the biggest issue for us. I think actually for
That's
us,
strange,
it's
man.
like small team.
Our events are a lot
Yeah.
smaller as well.
Yeah.
Like clubs, like the smallest club probably like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Our
100 to
events,
150.
100, 150 only.
Right.
The most we've gone is like 200, and that's like it was rare packed.
Yeah.
But I think also the biggest issue we face as always is logistics, just because of a small team size and the amount of equipment that we have to bring. I think that's always been the pain point, especially when we used to use those big JBL speakers, those that need two people carry like two hands like that.
Yeah. Like you couldn't bring them in the car. We'd have to get a Lala move.
Yeah.
So like now, in my phone, I've like every time I take a Lala move, I always ask the guy.
Got your
his-
resident.
No, my resident.
Resident driver.
Yeah. So like the day before, or like a couple days before, I'll just text like 6 or 7 of them, right?
Just next time, just send him the event poster. I know what to do already, bro.
Yeah. So logistics was quite.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, like, when you say that about the permit and the clearance, right? Because like for DJs, right, it's very different because we are technically playing dance music, and the way our audience kind of express themselves is through dance. But I don't know if you saw this video that I shared recently, right, of this like Malay band that is busking at Paya Lebar.
No, I have not seen
Oh, I saw you sending it in the Telegram.
Yeah,
You know,
I was like,
in the Revelry chat, is it?
this could be a story, but I choose to like, okay, got copyright, so I can't play it. But so this is like Paya Lebar, Singpost, Paya Lebar MRT station.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then, dude, they are singing, and all of these people, like 100, 200 people, right? They are all singing their ass off. So I was like,
Oh, nice,
will
sick.
there finally be a day, right, where we can do dance music? Yeah. And I guess Singapore has another license like for dance also, right? I don't think they will approve a dance license for this. Because if dance might be quite chaotic, right?
Yeah,
Imagine you just want to go take MRT, then gonna punch in the face.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar with the licensing thing, but
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, looking at that kind of content, I mean, I love it lah.
Yeah.
It's like community, right? Genuine, like authentic love for and passion.
Yeah,
And I think
and
that's
the government allows this to happen, make
Yeah.
it more vibrant.
And I think that's what we're all about, lah. Like that kind of passion and love for like coffee and music. And of course, being able to bring that to more people is something that we always want to do. Be it, in like an MRT or whatever.
Hopefully
Yeah.
MRT soon.
Yeah, man. Dude, do you see those NYC people?
Yeah, yeah,
Walao,
yeah.
crazy. Just can use the railing and dance.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah. And then I mean you also see like
yeah.
so many content is being done on trains or buses. Because I think like people sort of resonate with like public transport as a key part of their lives, right? Yeah. And
But
then-
honestly, I don't want it to reach a certain point where you walk on the street and people are like, hey, what do you do for a living? What's your rent? Bro, get the fuck away from me, man. Honestly, that's too much. That's some like NYC, like, 无法无天, you know? I don't know what, you know what it means. Like no law, everybody just do whatever the fuck they want, full freedom. A bit chaotic, right? Don't you think so?
No, so I think it's like what Ethan said, lah. Licenses have a role to play.
Yeah, for sure.
As the checks and balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like end of the day, everything is about balance, lah. Right? There's anything that's too much is always a bad thing. Yeah.
But you talk about New York, I think it's very interesting, right? Because my friends in New York tell me like it's like that, right? Like people are just creating content. But also, right, their mentality, right, is like ignore. Like whatever happens is the New York thing. So
Yeah.
they just like immediately dismiss it. Like you can see someone dancing on the street, you will just walk by, people will just walk by as if nothing's happening. Because they're so used to people doing things like that.
They already install ad
They
blocker. already.
install ad blocker already. It's like privacy screen, like, yeah, just walk lah. It's like, this is the average day in the life of
it's like
being in New York.
antivirus, firewall.
Yeah.
And I think that's also like kind of amazing, right? That because I think it sort of allows people to express themselves, but at the same time, you know, everyone is like okay with it. Because yeah, but I think in New York also a special case, because everyone there is really, a lot of people are chasing their dreams. And I think when you have a culture like that that encourages it, you have more people pursuing their passion,
Yeah.
which is important and something that we need to cultivate here, I feel. Yeah.
But I also feel a bit difficult, right? Because it is the United States of America, right? There's many states. So for a country to happen, right? Okay, one country can do the extreme stuff, one country can be the chill, you know? So they on average, you see, you get what I mean? They got variants, right?
So Singapore is like
No, imagine Singapore become NYC. That's it already. The whole country is NYC already, you know? We cannot split, you get what I mean?
Split like Buena Vista, then Dover,
Yishun.
then
Yeah.
Yishun.
Changi,
That's why we cannot.
then Woodlands.
Too small already, I think.
Yeah.
But do you think it's possible, like we have like a crazy area for us to do creative stuff, and then we have a Zen area?
But actually, I feel like that kind of culture really sort of owns, like creates itself, right?
Yeah, I think because
Oh,
like
it's
there are
organic
certain
lah, it's
there's
organic
certain
lah.
like cultural hubs in Singapore, like for example Pearl's Hill, which
Ah,
is where we
Yeah.
held
Wild
our
Pearl,
first
right.
public event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, even as something as simple as Orchard is the shopping place that
Yeah.
people associate with. You know what I mean? Things like that, I think, can be created organically.
Yeah, like for example, like Somerset One Belt, the initiative that their scape is.
Okay. Is it like triple one there?
Yeah, the triple one,
Triple
the
one shopping
initiative,
center, 313, Cine Leisure, right?
Yeah.
What happened to Cine Leisure? You know, Cine Leisure always have those kind of like markets, right? I don't know if you're shit.
No, the scape downstairs
Yeah,
scape.
yeah,
Downstairs scape.
correct.
That scape is renovating right now.
Yeah. But you always have those kind of flea market kind of shit, right?
There's a lot of Apiria.
Oh,
the
it's still
Hammock
happening?
Market, Resurrect.
Leisure, but there are a lot of this type of things that happen. Like what he said.
Yeah.
Resurrect, Imperial Mall, they have Hammock Market. I think it's really about like, there's still places for you to find community. You just need to know where to look.
But it's also a lot smaller also,
Yeah.
right? Because of
And I think
population.
Singapore also suffers from the fact that we're very small. So events in general is a lot tougher to take off.
Yeah.
So like 200, like let's just say like 200 packs, $30 per ticket, right? 6,000. Like 6,000, I don't know, your DJs for one night, how much would it be? Average $150, $200.
Yeah.
6 hours would be, wait, sorry. Yeah,
1,000?
6 hours, 1,000, let's just say 1,000 there already.
Yeah.
Then you would need to marketing 1,000.
Yeah.
Then your
Like 4,000. Then you need, I don't know, you all like to do pop-up, right? So you need to rent equipment, need license.
Logistics.
Yeah.
staff.
And then all 6,000 not you take, maybe they take 50% ticket
Yeah,
cut,
they
ticket
take
sales.
50%.
Wow, fuck, left nothing, bro.
But then for example, like in US, right, for example, like your population is how big is the US now?
300 million, bro.
300 million.
I don't know the exact
Yeah, I don't know the
number,
exact, but like in LA itself, like how millions and millions of people there.
Yeah, bigger than Singapore already.
Yeah, bigger than Singapore, and the propensity to spend, like
Yeah.
consumer-wise, their consumer behavior is a lot higher. Like for example, in Singapore, the propensity to spend is a lot lower.
Yeah.
But it's actually Singapore is more expensive, right, than US.
Depends on the state. Like, because of what you said,
Yeah.
ma, United
big.
States of America.
A lot.
I mean, the prices range. I mean, obviously, New York.
Oh, New York
and,
is the highest, right?
New York and LA, yeah, more
Yeah.
expensive. You go to
San Fran very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Right,
yeah,
right,
you go maybe somewhere more Midwest or Southern, then it's slightly cheaper here and there.
But I realize that everything, okay, so apparently Singapore is like the most highest standard of living in the whole world right now, right? Then followed by Tokyo, then NYC. Always these three, they
The
keep
latest,
swap.
the latest
yeah,
one,
yeah,
Singapore is the highest, is it?
Yeah. Last year was like,
Yeah, I'm
But
also not
always
familiar.
quite high.
Yeah. I know it.
I know.
fluctuates.
Switzerland's quite high as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it
Switzerland's always up there.
fluctuates.
Then Sweden is always up there.
Yeah.
One of the Nordic
Yeah.
countries.
Highest standard of living in the world. Yeah. Yeah, I think Switzerland, Singapore, Tokyo, NYC lah. But I realized that in NYC the only expensive thing right is their food. Like you go outside and eat right, it's like damn expensive. That's why.
Rent is low.
Not as expensive in Singapore, bro. Singapore is crazy, yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
say Manhattan.
Maybe they
But
also
the
have
taxes
their
also much higher.
yeah. Maybe they have their own yeah. The taxes also higher. Yeah, Manhattan is like their own like Orchard Road like you rent in Orchard Road also it's crazy, right? Yeah. But our cars more expensive. Our everything more like our Grab
Yeah, I
also
mean,
wow,
cars for
crazy,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
you know, Grabs, like I've seen like screenshots
Uber.
online
Uber.
where like Uber,
Right.
it's like you can have like $200 Grab. Ubers.
I guess also quite far also right from city to city.
Yeah, and the jam as well.
Yeah. You know they say that our from Central to Pioneer right or Boon Lay is considered near to them.
Yeah, to them it's nothing. I mean,
Yeah,
an American
nothing.
friend just come and visit me recently.
Hey, so near.
Yeah, from Washington.
Yeah.
Then he was like, "Oh yeah, it's so near. Everything is accessible."
As
then he
in,
tell,
like, I was from Indonesia. I'm Indonesian as well, so I came from Indonesia. I go back to very often. Like a 45-minute drive is like every day.
Short.
It's quite standard, yeah. But over here, 45-minute drive, right? Is like from one end of the country to another end.
So the other day I was just having this conversation with my girlfriend, right? We are talking about like communication being the root of all growth lah. And that's the reason why, right? We already got MRT lines, but government is still trying to build more and more interconnectivity. You know, get from one point to another point shorter, right? So if you can travel within the country very quickly, right, it somehow creates more prosperity for the country as well.
Because of efficiency as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is exactly like what you say about AI. If you can create a piece of content faster, then get the feedback, and then come back and then make another content. Yeah, that's
I mean, you have more time to do other things than
You have more
being
time to
spent
rest.
on transport, more time to rest.
Yeah.
I think overall, better results.
Yeah, like there was a statistic where like when the East-West line broke down. Like,
East-West line is what?
the
Green one.
line, green
Pasir
line.
Ris to like Tuas Link.
Yeah, when it broke down, right? There was a statistic out there where like Singapore's economy lost like how many million?
I'm not sure. I didn't see the article.
Wow, holy fuck.
And that's why like transport is such an important thing for.
Yeah, but
Economic growth,
definitely. Yeah.
Then like that, they should kind of like make mobile broadband free for everybody. So Singapore just install Starlink. Okay, everybody free mobile. Let's go. Yeah. Then we can like communicate like nobody's business. Yeah.
But I think important to have limits as well.
Yeah, correct.
Because if not, data centers, whoever, they'll just use whoever that is utilizing broadband as a
Then maybe your communication
loss
also
of
kind of
supply and
hijack
demand.
also.
Yeah, loss of supply and demand. Yeah, must exist.
Yeah. So I recently I watched this video from Veritasium, which is this science channel.
Oh,
love
yeah.
them. I
you,
love
you
them.
know?
I love them.
Yeah. So they say that how AI is finally like everybody's talking about like how AI is going to take over the world, but this AI right is finally going to like salvage us lah, and it's because of the fact that it can trial and error infinitely So
What's it called? Remember.
It's protein synthesis.
Oh,
Yeah. So the first protein synthesis, right, took this guy, this scientist, this chemist, right, 12 years to make one protein. And I think it's like myoglobin or something to something that can.
I listened to this on a podcast as well. Yeah. And then it was talking about how AI you could a lot of scientific advancements actually happen with AI because the millions and thousands of permutations and combinations.
Can do in like one day and it's done So basically for like 5 decades or something, right, 100,000 scientists managed to make this sample size
Yep.
And then within 1 month, right, the AI can create like 200 million times more. And then it's like wow, advance us like in decades So we can basically finally discover a protein that can cure cancer, can cure like asthma or whatever Yeah. So I think AI should be doing this kind of like work for us, right, and not take over content creation, all that kind of stuff.
No, I think at the end of the day, AI is a tool. Yeah, and how you use it or how you adapt to its, promulgation in society is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think there's no point in lamenting about, AI is gonna take away jobs or AI is gonna do this and that.
Because that's what people
Yeah.
talk about the steam machine, like
Yeah,
engines,
yeah.
steam machines.
Right. It's
steam
just
engine.
another stage in our development as humans.
Yeah.
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 So recently I was like meeting with another of my DJ friends, right? And then they are like, okay, you know what? It's time for me to like level up lah. I want to learn producing. Yeah, I'm like, is there a point in learning producing music when AI can do it? Yeah, right.
Wait, on that note, right? I
Yeah.
saw this this thing on YouTube where there's this AI tool, right? Where
Yeah.
if you input, let's just say your set list, they will automatically help you set cue points and then color code the cue points. What? And then you can just put it inside and get all the cue points.
That is fucking mental.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're in and out settle already.
Yeah, all that's set already.
Yeah, so when AI comes in the picture, right, then you have to start to like understand what is there left to do. Because like for example, right, your biggest DJs in the world, right, they don't even produce their own music. Guess what, guys? EDM lovers, your favorite DJs don't even fucking produce their own songs, okay? Most of the people don't even know. Yeah. And they have a team behind them. So now your team is called AI. So do you actually need to learn music production? Is that the most value for money, like most valuable use of your time?
Sure. But I think
Right.
most people do it for the love. I think at the end of the day, a lot of the producers that, at least those that I see on YouTube or those that are making it big, is because they have a love and passion for what they're doing.
On that note, there's a
Yeah.
very famous producer, right? I forget what's his name already. Yeah, he basically said, right, music production, right, has come to a point, right, where it is the passion for the rich. If you are not rich, you need to make a living, right? You have no time to produce. Yeah, you have to like build a personal brand and then leverage off that.
But
and
even
then-
the equipment is
yeah.
not cheap, right?
It's
for production.
fucking expensive, dude.
Ableton. and
Ableton is
all that.
$1,000.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
hell,
yeah,
dude?
yeah.
You can download CapCut for free. Yeah.
But I also see like actually what I find so funny is when like when people are trying to like produce music like out of their own bedrooms, and I think sometimes things that those kind of music in a very raw form is like the most engaging, right? Like there are streamers now, making their own songs on what's that?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. What's the app where they can like drag and drop?
GarageBand.
I mean, not GarageBand, but something on the phone as well. Yeah, I saw this Vietnamese streamer, I think Jason, produced his own like love songs or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, then just like you
Jason,
can.
Jason the who?
I think Jason the Ween.
Oh, Jason.
Is it the win? I thought
Yeah.
he's like streamer and do funny
Yeah, he's
stuff.
a streamer, do funny stuff, but he can make his own song.
Oh, shit.
And I listen to it. Actually, it's not terrible, like and you can see that clearly. There are other ways to approach. Music production, just for love and passion, I think we're very fortunate, especially if you live in a more developed country,
Yep.
where like whatever you love and have passion for, I think you can find a way to do it and then slowly build from there.
Actually, alternatively, right, I think that the fact that music production becomes easier and simpler and easier to understand might actually improve the quality of music out there. Just because it's
make it
more
worse, actually.
accessible.
Yeah.
So more people,
Or make it worse.
could be. Yeah.
Dude, Spotify CEO is like, fuck, so many people upload so much trash. Let's find a way to clear the trash, Yeah. That's the thing lah.
But the more accessible, more people can do. More people can do. The general it would suggest that more sample size, the quality would work. Yeah.
Yep.
But talking about like content saturation, like everybody's saying, the content market is saturated and whatever. Recently, I saw a data set, right? It says that YouTube, of all the people watching YouTube, only 1% are creators. 99% are people just watching YouTube. They're not actually
That makes sense.
Yeah, so actually, you still can more. Yeah, actually 100% of the world making YouTube. Who's watching, right?
Yeah, but it also makes sense that people who are making are not watching, cause like tired lah. You make content, every time. Yesterday I saw after your set, you had to take down all the cameras, or that. You got time to go and watch
And you
new
have to
content, edit.
Yeah.
So I definitely get it lah, for sure.
Yeah. I was just like, but for me it's very different lah. Like I still have to watch, I still have to listen to music, right? To kind of like improve.
Yeah, keep current and all that.
Yeah, so that's why every time, right, if I grab, right, and then the guy is like blasting music, I'm like, hey, sorry, can you just like off the music, please? I'm having like a massive headache. I just listen to like fucking hard techno for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the creative life lah. And then I don't know, like engineering. I used to be from engineering. I don't know. Were y'all studying like STEM or something, or y'all are all business major?
For me, political science, international relations stuff.
Yeah.
Matteo.
Studying econs.
Econs,
So
more
human.
related to
A bit more, but I've been more interested in like the mathematical side of econs.
Oh damn.
So STEM.
I remember asking him, hey, why you never become government or something? Like pursue that.
Me or him?
Him. I remember the first time he
knows?
told me, right, your course is like really like the
I
lawyer,
mean,
then
potentially, maybe you never know.
really
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe next time senator.
No lah.
Senator doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, that's why.
I just make coffee only nowadays.
Yeah. But walao, like governing people is another next level difficult task lah.
Actually, I'm so curious, like on your side also, like when you started Revelry, how was like for the first time to,
How
to
did the
manage
idea come
production
about?
and all that? Yeah.
How did the idea of revelry come about?
Wow. Okay. So answer your question, right? I think I have learned to like kind of motivate people through my early years as a scout lah. So I used to be scout.
Hey,
I
me
do
too.
Scouts. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, like Boy Scouts.
They throw you into like
This thing,
they throw you into super uncomfortable situations lah. And then from there, I'm just able to like work together with a team. And I realized like I'm more of like a team person than a solo person. I used to think that I'm a solo person, but then I realized I manage better. And then I started quite a lot of collectives, you know, and a lot of like initiatives that didn't work. And then eventually Revelry happened. It's really like trial and error lor. Yeah.
But
and then
the pivot from like DJ collective to media is quite a. How did it become a media?
yeah, really from 15 years, I think this coming year 17 years of DJing really. Like I really take the DJing craft very seriously lah. But then the thing is,
That's almost as your DJing career can almost drink already.
yeah, my DJing career can almost drink. Yeah.
Can almost drink already.
Wow, fuck man, like obviously I take like the DJing craft very seriously lah.
Yeah.
And then that's the reason why I don't really want to like deviate too much from it. But the longer I do it, right, the more I can like look at it from a third person. Like I'm no longer me. I can see me from
Like
bird's eye.
detached, right?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
detach already. Then I realized, guess what? Nobody gives a fuck other than me, you know? So I'm serving the people, right? I'm creating content for them, right? I should create what they care about. And then eventually when I build that trust,
Yeah.
then they will be like, hey, so actually what does Leonard care about? So I think it's like being selfless. We are all so absorbed with ourselves, right? That we fail to realize what people want. Yeah, at least for myself lah. And then
Actually, on that point of like you saying
Yeah.
that you did revelry as a way to what's it called? So in revelry, you made what people want, right? That's
no,
what-
actually only in the middle of Revelry did I realize that I have to create something that is related to my brand. Obviously, I don't suddenly talk about Cai Fan or what, right? Yeah. I still do DJing, music, nightlife stuff, but then in a way that other people would want to consume lah, basically. Yeah. I used to do like how to produce using Ableton, like fucking technical stuff, how to do turntablism.
Oh yeah, what you're telling me about, right? Your review of like the the new product.
Yeah, I've been doing like Pioneer DJ reviews, equipment new for like a decade already, I think. 10 over years already. Yeah. That's why I keep getting the latest gear from Kevin Gigan. Yeah.
Yeah.
lor. I'm like super in it lah, which is probably why now I'm like acting a fool on TikTok, right? Nobody is calling me out, you know, because they know I'm really suffered for very long.
No, but I think it's important, that sort of like what you're talking about, right? Like that reciprocal relationship with your audience and your community.
Yeah.
I think like you in a way have to make things that they would want to see.
Yeah.
But also treading that fine line between having it still be part of you lah. I think a lot of people always too black and white about it. Doesn't mean you make something that people want to watch, means it's something that you don't agree with or believe in.
Yeah.
I mean, BeansAndBeats is exactly that, right? I mean, we love coffee and music, but at the same time, people also do love coffee and music, right? Yeah, so it can be something that both of us like.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
about
think,
finding the balance between like
Yeah.
commercial viability between your passion, and I think that's something that you have to like.
Yeah.
It's a very thin line that a lot of the times you have to,
Super.
and especially being in like a more creative industry, like you have to play like jump rope that line.
Yeah, for sure.
And then every single year on year, right, if you realize like companies, right, they are constantly talking about revenue growth every year on year, right? And then with revenue growth, right,
Yeah.
which means you need to like keep up the times, do probably more and more cheesy shit lah that might not be aligned with your brand. And then like for example, if you have shareholders to answer to, right, in
Yeah.
future, right, how do you all like keep them satisfied while still
Like
staying true to
maximizing
yourself?
shareholder value.
Like us. Like you mean us or like in general?
Like in general, I mean, if right now you're just 3% company, right?
Yeah,
But I guess in future you all will start want to have more.
Yeah, and then with investors, ROI,
Shareholder.
like how many year term and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just about being very clear, and that's why I think that having a vision of what you want the company to be is very important.
Yeah.
Like for example, like our team, right? We have this like thing where we do like, it's like if, let's just say I'm making an unpopular decision that might not make doesn't make a lot of commercial sense. Then I can be like, oh, but I want to do this for passion, and like they will understand. Yeah, and I think that's how we built it as well, right? Is that we understood that we built it from passion first, and the business always comes second. Like it has to play because at the end of the day, must be sustainable, must keep
Must keep the employees.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
yeah.
like we have this like
Yeah.
we're very glad that this initiative or company was rooted in passion first before it became a business.
So I think hopefully we don't have to deal with that because there's that upfront transparency lah, regardless of who we're working with, about it being passion first and also being very clear about what are our goals and what we're trying to achieve out of this thing. But I think perhaps on a broader note about what you're talking about, yeah, I think it's the same principle, or you just need to be very clear about where you stand on certain things and what are your red lines, what cannot be crossed. And I think laying that out at the start, I think really helps a lot lah, for sure. Yeah.
Correct. I think like when you build a company, it's also depending on how much energy the founder has left, right?
Has left.
Yeah. Because
Wow,
I saw this
crazy.
Shark Tank video, this old man, right, brought this young guy out lah, and then they are pitching to the sharks, right?
Yeah.
And then the shark is asking the old
I
man,
know
right?
this one, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
This old man is like fucking wealthy and he can fund these young guys things. But then he's like, I'm too old already. I can't.
It was the father and the son, right?
I don't know if it's father
I
and
think
son.
it's
or-
father, probably.
Yeah, it's like I'm too old already. I don't have the energy to start another company. Because if you start a company, you need to throw your whole life into it.
Yeah.
In order for it to work lah. And then he just hope that somebody else can joint venture and make it work lah. And then it
And be
became
his
this.
like be that kid's mentor, right?
Yeah.
I remember to be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
investor and like more importantly his like someone to guide him and teach. Yeah, that was
So did that work? Did that work?
I think
it's
got that
fucking
probably
good
got
pitch,
the
man. Like the
member pitch.
product is really good, right? Someone add the sob story, wow, extra points, bro.
Yeah.
golden buzzer.
Okay.
Yeah, precisely. The other day I was with doppelgangers. I was like, okay, imagine if Singapore government give you infinite money, right? How would you like create like the perfect guest DJ, international DJ that can beat David Guetta or Martin Garrix, And then we were thinking like, hey, you know what? Hire a person that is like broken family, then we can talk about his sad story, all that kind of shit. Fucking messed up lah. But I don't know, man. Half the shit in in entertainment industry is like engineered lah. So you also don't even know, right? So many like smokes and mirrors and shit.
Embellishments lah, for sure.
Yeah.
More embellishments.
Aiyo. Yeah. So what's next for Beans and Beats? How are you guys thinking of like expanding? Because you guys are going to overseas study very soon already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So how? Singapore like that, how? Nobody in Singapore.
got our new team member,
Okay.
creative director. But I
Right.
think that's also a question we are still trying to answer. For sure, in our minds, from what we discussed, there's like a rough picture of what we want it to look like. So of course, in our respective, overseas elements, we want to continue pursuing this in like different chapters, like perhaps like more music focus or more coffee focus, etc. But Singapore, as our HQ, will continue to run for sure, and we want to hopefully have people we can not hand it off to, but people who can continue what we've been doing while we serve a more like supervisory role.
Yeah, and I think that's why we also create all these SOP documents. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like our main concern is that let's just say us three went out in Singapore, right?
What?
All of us three.
Yeah, we're not in Singapore.
Oh,
Yeah.
three of you are not in Singapore. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Then we would have to trust someone that they can be stewards of the brand.
Yeah,
Basically hire a CEO lah, in a sense.
Yeah, kind of.
And we also see we even see the fact that we're going overseas, right, as maybe international expansion.
Oh,
yeah, an opportunity for to grow lah.
Yeah, we
right?
need to grow in different countries.
Which is, yeah, for sure. Because like, I mean, there's so many DJs that we want to work with in overseas. So many opportunities that definitely can happen because we're overseas. So I think we don't see it as like a hindrance lah. More
Of course,
like
it will affect things, but you always have to see the bright side lah.
see how we can. It's an opportunity to develop and grow lah. Yeah.
Remembering your point about like cafe culture, like in Singapore, not really like a thing lah. Remember we were discussing the other day. I went to the Chimichangas, right, to go and find him, and then we can talk about that a little bit later on. But then we also discussed about the Korean cafe culture.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
after
Speak on that.
after
Sure.
lunch in Korea, right, they like must go cafe one. You know, it's like a ritual for them.
Yeah.
And then their cafe all packed one, like cafe side by side. Nobody fight for business. All packed,
As
packed,
Americano, right?
Yeah. I think why is also because like they really have this like culture of like SNS they call it, which is basically Instagram, like social media.
social network.
Yeah, whatever they call it lah. It's
Yeah,
basically Instagram or Twitter or whatever
The Korean
they're
version,
using, whatever they're using. Yeah, but just call it SNS. I think there's that culture of posting like nice and aesthetic images, and just so happen that translates to food F&B, like the things they're consuming, right? And I think, and all the cafes in Korea are so like
Aesthetically
nice,
pleasing,
so
yeah.
aesthetically pleasing. That I think it becomes like a form of like it becomes what you say, ingrained to their culture, lor.
Yeah. Which is why, like, you know, everybody say that like superficial stuff is like bad, like there's a bad connotation, right? But I guess that's where superficiality kind of serves a market, right?
Yeah, but
like,
also I love it lah. I mean, I'm so happy. Every time I walk into a cafe in Korea, I'm so like, I want to eat everything. Like all the cakes look nice. Like
yeah. I order too much every time. It's like, oh shit, wasted. Fuck.
I think it's just because the nature of the business of F&B and coffee fits the culture of the people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to force culture also very difficult lah.
I mean, it takes
slowly
time.
lah.
I mean, we are a young country. I think we definitely we will develop further in all this. And but it's good and bad, right? I think Singapore, we have this like mindset of like everything must be value for money, perhaps. But also I think that drives like people to innovate and become better. The things here that we consume, like the food, whatever, I think that culture definitely has allowed it to improve in quality and all that. So I mean, it's amazing, man. Yeah.
I vaguely remember this story, right? So one of my ex, right, is a fashion student, and then she studied about different fashion houses lah.
Yeah.
And then like for example, what's the luxury brand like Louis Vuitton or Yves Saint Laurent or something like that, right?
Sure.
They have a lot of stores that sell normal stuff lah. I mean, by normal, it's still not cheap. It's like 500, 200, 300.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's like their level of normal, right?
Sure.
But then in their home country, their HQ, they will have one shop, they will sell all the $10,000, $20,000 thing, right? That shop, right? I don't know, is it called like a couture shop or I don't know what's the exact name lah.
Like archival, maybe? Like your old stuff.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's just like
No, he means like the high-end luxury.
it's like the runway clothes. The clothes, you know, because runway clothes are fucking crazy, right? You won't wear it on normal day, right? So all the shops they have all over the world is a normal day wearing one, but their HQ, right, is the special runway, and it's like people won't buy one. It's like one piece is like 100,000 or something like that. But that's like flagship store. So I think maybe in Singapore could potentially be the next hub for flagship stores, you know. Yeah, where it's like the HQ is like the most epic shop that people come and visit and they don't actually buy anything. Yeah, and then you start to have all your other outlets all over the world to make the revenue to sustain this thing. That is the identity of your brand.
Like, as a marketing expense, lah, essentially. I know.
Yeah.
Actually, that actually what a lot of brands use Singapore for.
Yeah,
That's why all your flagship Apple stores,
see your Apple
flagship
stores,
LV, like they have a whole island for LV, a whole island for
Whole
Apple.
island for
Yeah.
The what was that? Ion, right? Ion is like half empty most of the time. I feel like it's just there as a status thing, right?
Yes and no lah. I mean, there's definitely your expat crowd and your people who from higher social economic status who are able to afford and do buy these things. Yeah, but definitely it's a minority.
Right.
But at the same time, I think it does it serves a role lah, right? It's like the shopping district. It's where people go to see. Yeah. Even if most people are just like window shopping, I think it's still like
I
a
think it
part
also
of
serves as a PR
Yeah.
game. Because like for example,
right.
let's just say Beans and Beats opens a store at Ion, and then our store is next to like Louis Vuitton,
Oh,
Dior.
that means
Then they would see
that
the
level.
Certain
brand
prestige, is
at that
it?
certain level. That's just the game of like marketing and PR.
Interesting, yeah.
It's that the fact that you put your brand next to this brand, it shows that you guys have a certain stature and a certain level and certain.
But do you all intend to be that kind of brand?
No lah.
More for the people.
More
kind
for the
of-
people. It's just the psychology of it.
Right.
Now, B&B, I think at the end of the day is people, community, and passion first. Like we do things because we want people to enjoy the things that we enjoy the way we do, right? Be it like just trying to bring the kind of coffee that you had to more people, like making people understand that, or like introducing more people to like Amapiano or even like Tech House or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's at the end of the day what we're trying to do lah.
Yeah, we're just trying to push like a healthier like culture.
Yes.
Where like because the biggest thing I don't like about clubbing is that the fact that you go home at 4. And then like not only is your grab like $40-$50,
Yeah.
but then you lose the next day. Because you go home at 4, you
Then
shower,
you sleep.
everything,
Hangover
you
and
sleep at
shit.
like 5 or 6. The moment you wake up, it's 3 or 4 p.m. already the next day. And
Yeah.
then you lose the rest of the day. So
Yeah.
kind of how we came about is that it fits really well in like a person's day. So like on weekends, people wake up at 11, right?
Yeah.
So then, or like 10, 11, like a bit later, you sleep in. Then you have lunch or like brunch or whatever. Then after brunch ends at 1 or 2, then what do?
Right.
You go home, you go cafe, go whatever. So we want Beans and Beats to fit in that area. So it ends at 2. Beans and Beats usually starts about 2 or 3 until 6 or 7. So you go lunch, Beans and Beats, and after that, go for dinner. Yeah. And so that's how we.
Yeah, I think clubs should kind of like adopt that model. Look at like I've always been saying, right? Look at Vegas, their club end at 2 a.m. You know, if Singapore club can close even earlier, right? Then until we can catch last train, wow, dude, so many.
Oh, I didn't know Vegas Cups end at 2.
know Vegas Cups
Yeah.
Then what happens after 2 for them?
I know parties in the US.
Firstly, right, they queue up very early, 8 p.m. start queuing up already.
Oh, so their cups open early as well.
Yeah, so most of the time, right, the club, right, is like a dinner place, and then it will transition into a club. Dinner transition to a club. And obviously they have their after hours place, their home party and all that kind of shit. Yeah, but then the general
It's
culture.
at 1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, so next day you still can go back to work, you know, so it won't deter you from the clubs, which is why they don't really have that mass exodus of the club, you know, all the clubs shutting down. They don't really have. I think it's more of like a Singapore UK thing.
I think it's
where-
because of the consumer profile in the US.
That is also
Yeah, people spend more.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like whenever we want to do something in Singapore, right, we have to really consider the context of our own people, and don't really try to push an overseas agenda too hard. Unless you have like infinite funding that you can like really wait for the seeds to bloom after decades, you know. Very good example is Zouk Singapore, you know. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important. Yeah, what you said. It's about knowing the audience, especially in Singapore, like who you are trying to, share your message with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for us, like, for example, the one thing we always bring up is like, oh, what's the difference between our coffee and like your kopi?
Yeah.
I think it's because we're always trying to make people understand where kopi falls on the spectrum. And if anything, we're trying to show that, kopi is an amazing beverage. I mean, I drink it almost every morning. But it's almost like a completely different drink from what we are serving. And like both can exist and both are amazing. And that's what we're trying to share also. Yeah. But whereas if you take that, to an overseas crowd, they'll be like, what's kopi? They don't have that because for them, their standard is like what we're serving.
It's crafted
Like
coffee.
in Japan, right? The standard is like a $5 cup of pour over coffee. That's the standard.
Kopi is a dishonor.
Yeah. And most they have like,
Yeah.
the bottled coffee, 7-Eleven. But they don't think of that as coffee. Think of that as like a sweet drink almost. Or
really?
like a caffeine shot option.
Oh.
They don't think of it as like coffee. Think of it as like just a caffeine delivery system. the most. So I think that's always like very interesting how different cultures perceive coffee. And also, I mean, yeah, music as well, for sure.
Yeah, so the other day I was visiting your, I don't even know how do I call it, like consignment shop,
Like a
consignment.
permanent pop-up lah.
Yeah, permanent pop-up, right?
Yeah.
Permanent collab, resident coffee,
Resident
coffee,
Resident cafe.
coffee slash DJ
Sure.
at Chimichangas HQ, right?
Yeah.
And you have your own brand of coffee bean.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
are you guys also pivoting in the products, like how Wild Pearl is trying to create their own beverage? Are you gonna have your own 7-Eleven Beans and Beats coffee?
I think slowly lah.
Right.
I think for you to start selling beverages and cans,
Wow, a
very
lot of
big
things,
capital
yeah.
investment.
Yeah, a lot of processes.
So we're starting slowly. We're trying to make sure that we still stay true to the brand. Which
It has to be something we want to do.
Yeah, it's something we want to do first.
And it has to uphold the kind of quality that we are serving in our events lah. Right? Like beans is very easy because I mean, we are serving the beans already at our events. It was just about packaging them in a way that we think looks nice, that we want to proud of to show to our audience. And I think that's what we've done with our retail like coffee beans. It's like the kind of crazy coffees that we are serving, but now you can buy them and then at home you can make. Yeah. So
Yeah, I like the fact that a lot of the things that you all do is really like passion driven, right? So in a way, you don't actually have to sell anything. But I create this event because I like it.
yeah,
Then that's it.
Yeah,
That's
like,
it.
end of the day, right?
I never asked you to come, but I just like it.
yeah, I
And
just
full
like
stop.
it. Exactly.
Up to you to come, bro.
Exactly.
And that's why I think there's
Yeah.
not a lot of stress. Not there's no stress, but like stress.
It's never about,
You don't feel
like,
the
yeah.
pressure to,
But,
let's just
yeah,
say
people come.
to maximize shareholder value. Ours is just
Because you're three only,
sure
right?
that- yeah.
You all don't have other.
Yeah, or like pressure to like have like people are gonna come or not. Like
Yeah.
the pressure is just like how can I make this better?
Yeah.
How
And
can I
that
make
means
it work?
we don't have
Yeah.
to compromise on what we believe in and what
Yeah.
we want to.
For sure.
Yeah, I really believe that is the best way forward, right? But then I also feel like you need to at least keep one eye open for the future, right?
For sure.
A very good example, right, is I've been working with so many clubs, and they are constantly like barking at you to like, hey, bring people,
Yeah.
hit this KPI, that KPI, right? But then there are like certain dope venues, High House, Nova being one of them, right? They don't tell me what to do, and they are like, we trust you. I'm like, holy shit, you know? But then the thing is, I know that we need to make money for this place, bottom line. Because we really want to do this forever, right? We want to do this long term, right? This place must be profitable, certain things have to happen. Yeah, and that's why I feel like a lot of this kind of like self-imposed pressure still exists
Yeah.
in order to like sustain what you like to do.
Yeah.
Because the problem comes when you do what you like as a job. Oh my God. Then it has to go into the not so fun zone. Yeah. If not, cannot continue, all right.
Yeah, but have to be self-imposed. See, I like,
have to be self-imposed.
Have to be self-imposed.
Yes, yes, yes,
Because
yes, 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 yes.
it being self-imposed makes it sustainable, but also makes you more driven to achieve that goal.
I guess also you stress you cannot blame anybody but yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
Oops.
I want to make it dope, really bo pian. So I have to do a certain set of things. Yeah.
Yep.
So
For sure.
product, potentially something that you all might consider. I think product also got quite high. Actually, no, actually, because I recently watched a Mr. Beast podcast, right? And then he said that, wow, products is the hardest shit to sell. Like recently, Emma Chamberlain also in her podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually coffee.
Yeah, recently reviewed that she's not making money from Chamberlain coffees, she's losing money, but she's sustaining it so that eventually one day it can actually reap the benefits. There's a lot of processes, you know.
Yeah.
Because to make a beverage or what, you need a machine that top up the drink, put the milk, you know. That machine is like fucking don't know cost how much already. And then you need people operating it, and then you maintenance, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like your business, like you must hit a certain critical point where the unit economics make sense.
And then Mr. Beast, I
When you
also
hit
say
certain scale, you enjoy it in terms of scale.
exactly.
US.
And then Mr. Beast also say, right, he go to like he okay, from airport to his house, he choose to drive so I think he stay in Texas or something.
Sure.
Then after that he dropped one airport before reaching his state, right? So that he
This is
can
in North
drive.
Carolina.
Yeah, so he can drive all the way back home, right? And then he'll visit every single Walmart to check on his product, right? Then he realized, hey, this shop, put my chocolate all the way at the back, right? I want to change the position. Wow, it's super hands-on. So it really affects the sales and all that kind of thing.
Damn.
Wow, dude.
Driving, oh, that's crazy.
Fucking insane, dude.
I think it's like to do business, you must be obsessed.
Everything,
Yeah, you must be
everything,
obsessed with the minute details. And as again, that's why I think that being a passion-driven business helps.
Yes.
Like for example, for you yourself, like you were very obsessed with the craft. I know Ethan told me last night you were explaining to him how when you transition from
that 150 to 112.
112, you were saying,
I woke
Everybody at the back be like,
you know,
I woke up this morning thinking about
Then
it.
he went up to me, dude. You know what Leonard told me? He was like, what?
Yeah, I was like thinking about it because I was like, what? Because I was thinking, how will you scratch in rhythm to match? Okay, but anyways, I was like,
I digress. Yeah. Like for example, like I don't know the amount of times that Ethan tells me the coffee tastes a bit buttery, and how if he pours it off by like a couple milliseconds or like a couple seconds before, or like the temperature is off by a bit.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the equipment itself, right? We, if let's just we need to get a kettle that boils all the time. Like if you let's just say you pour hot water into the thing, then the temperature is not consistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how, like for example, in our cafe, we invested in a product where we can get consistent pours.
yeah, like the machine that makes the coffee, like X
Yeah.
Boom.
And then he
Yeah.
calibrated it where like
Yeah.
it shakes for X amount of seconds. It
Yeah,
spins for how many seconds?
I like the moment where he blew his own mind the other day
yeah.
at Chimichangas because the beans was like exposed for a day or something, right?
No, as in like
open a brand
every
new-
day the coffee tastes different,
Yeah.
because it's getting older in a sense.
Oxidizes,
Yeah, so like that day particularly tasted very good. Then I was
Yeah.
like shocked. I was like, wow, today one really not bad.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, the freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are days where it's like certain coffees are at its peak. Even like, you know, when you compete in competitions,
Yeah.
competitors will have like 3 different coffees.
Different
They-
day.
No, they set aside, like maybe roast on different day or different coffees. Then on that day, the morning of the competition, they will go and test all and see what's the best. Because you never know on that day, like
Maybe
what
the temperature.
Yeah, just like you don't know what other factors impact, but suddenly on that day, wow, this one is like the best.
Yeah.
And then they will use that and compete.
One day is like must work 110%. I must be obsessed with.
Yeah, you have to have that obsessive
You have,
mindset.
you have to be a bit like a bit xiao and
Like-
OCD
Like
about.
Beans and Beats, we are sponsoring this guy for like he's competing for us for coffee competitions this year, right? The national comps, and he's really obsessed. You know what he told me the other day? Then when he listened to the coffee, right, based on the sound it makes, he can like observe.
Wait,
and-
what the?
I'm like, what is he talking about, right?
What the
Like,
fuck? Wait,
even
the
him
sound
saying
of the
that-
grinding or what?
No, like
Of the-
because the first pour of water into the coffee when after you grind it
Oh,
is the CO2 gas is releasing, right?
Oh,
He can
okay.
tell me, he's telling me like, oh, because based on how long it rests, he can tell like how the CO2 gas is being released and then when he should pour his water next.
It's playing at an A minor, not an E minor.
That kind of thing. I'm like, wow, I'm like, okay lah. You know, I'm not even at that level, but I like respect
What's the
it.
count?
Oh man, that was so many meanings
The
there.
letter is like how many BPM is it?
Yeah,
What the freak?
It's like really that kind of level, but I
have to
think
be- yeah.
you need that lah to be successful.
And that's why Mr. Beast
Yeah.
is so incredibly successful because he's willing to put in the work in.
You see,
So
Mr. Beast
obsessed.
used to do this kind of videos where I was saying Logan Paul's name like 1 million
Oh,
times.
I watched paint dry.
Yeah. I think you really need that kind of mindset to be successful. Yeah.
A lot of normies, right, will say to this, right, but most people cannot tell. But then to that, right, I will reply, because now, right, the currency is authenticity. Because of AI and everything, right, I think the main currency is authenticity, right? If you really try your best to make something damn good, right, and you are super proud of it and you want people to know, the act of you sharing it with people, right,
Yeah.
you will convey it, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I never cheat you. Like I really listen to the beans, bro. You know?
Yeah.
It's like those things
Yeah.
that
And I
you
will
cannot
believe
even
this guy, you know, I
you
will
cannot even
believe this guy.
because you cannot even believe that he thinks about these things. It's
And he's so like
upsetting.
earnest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really believe.
I think at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's why even though AI will kind of take over the world and AI will start I think it will like
We'll all become androids,
proliferation,
bro.
like there'll be more proliferation of content,
Yes.
whatever, art and everything. And if they like authenticity will still
And then that
This is
will be the
true.
day where human will start to invent our own ad blockers. We can better and better to discern what is AI, what's not AI.
Yeah.
actually interesting enough because content is getting more proliferated,
Yes.
wider. People crave authenticity.
Yes.
And that's I think why
Live stream, bro.
Events like us work. Yeah, live stream as well.
Yeah.
But events like us work well.
Yeah.
Because people wanna find a space like there's this new thing. It's called third space. That's why we call it third space as well.
yeah.
Third space where people
Can connect.
can come
Yeah.
down like outside of their work, outside their home, to come down and meet new people, connect with one another.
Yeah, people are definitely looking for that. And that's also one of the other goals that we want is to like, we want like a Beans and Beats event to be a place where you can feel like safe and connect with other people.
And meet.
meet someone new, have a new conversation.
I mean, on our end, we're very fortunate and blessed to meet a lot of people. Yeah, and a lot of partners. Yeah, for example, like you've helped us so much with our journey as well. Like music direction, remember advice you've given us, yeah.
Actually, every time you say the AI thing, I always think of the cake or not cake. Have you seen the
Oh,
TikTok?
yeah.
Cake or not cake, then they cut.
Yeah. And the cake getting more and more real.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
cake getting more real.
More and
So I
more
was like,
real.
wow, is it like?
I remember
cake
the
or not?
Japanese version where they cut into a telephone. And it's like, it's a cake. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But yes. Okay, so maybe any like final messages you all have for our audience, like anything you want to shout out or any potential activation you guys think of doing in the future but it's not possible now?
Ooh.
For example, okay, on the end side, I really want to do an event in the library.
Okay. Well,
Like
silent
NLB.
library. Silent
no,
library.
like NLB. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I enjoy much is like the juxtaposition between the space and the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
So like something that's supposed to be really quiet and people are supposed to study, then you turn it into a.
For me, I really, on the coffee side, I really want to push more interesting, weird coffees and like be able to make it more accessible. So like drip bags or like, like tea bags, that kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, but with that kind of coffee. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we're trying to explore like.
but it's hard, especially as a small team, because you need like the production capacity
Capital.
and all that. Yeah, but I mean, we're definitely something we want to pursue and we're trying to explore this year how we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like even when we're overseas, we can have beans&beats coffee with us as well.
Yeah. And sadly, Aden is not here. Maybe he can give us a little bit of a music
music.
take, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you all want to book a guest DJ or something.
Actually, yeah, I was talking maybe.
Spotlight more guest DJs.
spotlight
But
more
I know one thing Aden wants and is about doing smaller parties, maybe like 50 people, but like team. So like maybe like a drum and bass, like garage party, maybe like a hard techno party. Because we realize we have small pockets within our community of people who love specific genres of music. Like, for
Yeah,
example, my
and
barista, Kayla, really loves techno. Like she go Berlin,
But what techno?
like hard techno.
Oh, hard
Yeah,
techno.
crazy one. Then
Okay.
or like trance, that kind of thing.
Right.
Then she will go to Berlin to party just to listen to that kind of music. And she really wants it
Damn.
here. Yeah. So like we're like, oh, actually there's so many people like her. We should do like smaller events to cater to this kind of people because we are also into that kind of music. And I think why Aden was so happy to be able to play, like because he doesn't get to play
DNB.
at like a normal beans&beats events, right?
Yeah, he when he sent the
Yeah.
set, dude, look at how cool my set is.
We are just
Oh,
an
like,
open-minded.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
He texted us like the day before. Oh my god, I'm so excited to play like all these.
Yeah. I guess we are like the same, right? Like us and maybe like Tosca and Jumbo Goat, right? Is the fact that we can have the ability to love a lot of genre, but not everybody is like that. Some people just want to exist in one subculture. So that I guess that is our way of interacting with them.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. You only want one thing, right? Okay, we
Yeah.
create that one thing for you.
What's this?
Memory.
Okay. Great. Never mind. It's okay. Yeah, we still have
Yeah.
another two. But yeah, okay lah. I guess that's it for now. Until maybe your international arc, then we can talk a little bit more.
Maybe we can do one before we leave.
Like what?
Before we all go different countries for studies. Yeah. Quite cool to like recap the.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we
Anything
are
up
always
to you,
happy to
man.
have like round 2, round 3 guests lah. Because every time you all got update, right? New stuff.
Yeah.
I think I did Tosca like 3 rounds already. sia.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you saw Tosca once.
Yeah, two podcasts already. I think he's in very early podcast. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, happy to have you guys, man. Thank you so much.
Amazing, yeah.